lads. Chapter 275. I've already forgotten what the name... No, Encounter Part 2.
Encounter, right.
Part 2. I did not realize that the last chapter was called Encounter, so I called it
Electric
Search.
Boogaloo.
I titled it Search, but whatever.
Well, I mean, speaking of Search...
Yes, what a great way to open.
First panel.
I need more panels of Best Girl Ragdoll.
I mean...
Don't we all?
We got sketches.
I mean, there's
The
also...
only character...
It's always
a character
hentai.
whose eyes are as big as most people's thighs. So this is something interesting. So we now know how Search works.
Yes, we've gotten a visual confirmation of how the quirk works.
Yes.
Not only that, but it was so when I was reading the I was reading the scans with like fan translations, and the way I interpreted how it worked was very different from how it actually works. So the way I read it originally was that anyone who All for One saw, he could see. But now I find out that it's anyone who Ragdoll saw, which is way more powerful.
And that is a big deal for every single quirk that has ever been taken.
All of 1A, 2A, and anyone who was at the Force training arc and any pro hero that Ragdoll's ever worked with is in that catalog.
That's true.
Yeah, so if we actually count the things here, I'm sure we could, like... I don't know if... It wouldn't surprise me if he went into that much detail, like, based on people that we could assume Ragdoll has seen, but, like...
Oh, I actually counted them last chapter, and if I remember right, there was 9 on the screen, 1 being the one that he's searching for, being Brighter being Midoriya. So what I assume is that those are the 9 characters, all of 1A, who were all in the... So Koda, Ida, Ochako, yada yada.
Were there 9 of them? I don't know. I'll check it later, but...
I remember there being 9.
Yeah, okay, then that makes a lot of sense. But that also means that Ragdoll has not worked with a lot of pro heroes.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she's already part of a hero group. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a lot of their stuff, quote-unquote, solo, seeing as how it's 4 of them.
Because it's already kind of a team-up in a certain way. So, I mean... We turn the page, we get the actual title sequence, which is...
Sushi the cat!
It's a nice cameo.
I don't know if it's actually Sushi, but I feel like...
I mean, it makes sense, because that's the,
It's the only cat that has a bearing on Aizawa's character.
And name.
True.
Yeah. Sushi! I love it. So we got Shigaraki doing, like, the Hulk. Just trumps really far.
More things that I would like to see animated.
I just want long jump Shigaraki, man. I want Olympic jumper Shigaraki.
Endeavor is literally just on fire. His entire body is on fire.
Except for his one
like
arm
more so
and
than
his
usual.
head.
It's just his head and his arm.
He is just a flying head. Also, look how much, like, Midoriya looks like a baby in this panel. He looks very...
Yeah, for whatever reason, his nose is very flat in this panel. Which is a big comparison to Endeavor and the tiny panel on the left, where his nose is like a 90-degree angle.
Also Aizawa.
Yeah.
And Bakugo in the same panel.
I mean, Bakugo still has, like, the same little thing going on with it. Like, it's like, these are adolescent nose.
Well, that's what's funny is that... That's what's funny is that the 1A characters, when they have like extended periods of time where it's just them in chapters, Horikoshi will draw them looking older and older as time goes by. But then when he has to stress that they're kids, when they're involved with pro heroes, he has to like go the total other direction.
Exactly, yeah.
So they start looking younger and younger.
Ridiculously like buff Midoriya panels, and then we get this where he looks like an absolute string bean.
Yeah. Granted, I think that just happens every time he takes off his shirt. I have no idea what's going on, but every time he takes off his shirt, he's fucking massive.
He did inherit the All Might's.
Yeah, man.
It wasn't quirk, though. It was all through the training regimen.
He hasn't quite gotten the shadows on his face yet, but we're almost there.
Almost.
So we get a panel of Shigaraki throwing it back, and he goes, 90 degrees the other direction. Because that is what that is. It's just of his ass.
He's just sidestepping really fast.
Kinda. So this panel right here, the one with the grayed out one with the glare kanji.
Glare.
And the left side of that, are those quirk bullets?
I think that's just isn't that just like
I can't tell what those are.
I think that's part of his
Or is that
hand.
his finger things? Or
I
those
think
the
his finger things.
You
That's
think
what I
so?
thought.
I thought the finger things were flat.
I don't know.
I don't
because-
think they're bullets though, because those are in his pockets.
Yeah, he would have.
Alright.
I don't think he would just have those like flying out.
Yeah. I'll tell you something about it later because I read something on the Reddit that people were talking about that I just can't seem to find in the chapter. So I'll point it out when we get to the part. So
Alright.
Endeavor is caught off guard. Whoosh.
Whoosh.
That's something I love about My Hero is that a lot of the sound effects, it's like 80% in Japanese, but every once in a while you get one in English.
Yeah, exactly right.
So it looks like an old 1960s Batman comic.
yeah.
Bam!
Bam!
Pow!
Pow! No, but it's interesting here looking at it because it seems like Endeavor's attack does actually hit. Just Shigaraki
Yes,
just
it
jumps
does
out of
seem-
it.
Or that
Shigaraki's
he
just
may have hit. That, I
won't
mean,
bounce.
remember,
like,
super
I take
regeneration.
I take the brokenness of it as him moving out of the flames, altering them.
Oh, perhaps. I mean, I see that as similar, like, you know how in a lot of shows, the guy will have moved so fast that his movement will have broken it up. Not because it touched him, but because the dodge
not even
itself.
like, yeah, I guess so.
You know?
That's fair.
There's a possibility in both directions. Granted, it doesn't fucking matter. Super
Yeah, exactly.
regeneration, Shigaraki can just brush it off. It's like, what's that? My
Exactly.
foot's gone? No, it isn't.
Oh, is that a fly? Nice.
Cool, it's dead now. So Endeavor must be having, like,
he must be very confused.
a really rough time. Because he's sitting... he encounters powered-up Shigaraki, and he's like, holy shit, this guy's stronger than a gnome. What the fuck? And now some kid is squeaking into his microphone like, okay, Endeavor, so there's this guy, right? He's gonna come after me! And he's
Oh, this is
like,
gonna
why
sound
would this
stupid.
guy come after you? You're
This
just
is
a
gonna
piece of
sound
shit from
so
UA.
stupid in the animation though,
What's
because
up?
like I think it's gonna sound so stupid in the animation. I don't know. I don't know
I
why.
think so.
The
I
idea,
think it's
I mean,
gonna sound a
like-
little. I think it's gonna sound
maybe,
funny.
I don't know. I mean, it will sound funny. It's gonna sound funny because the entire time it's just gonna be Endeavor reacting like, huh?
What?
What?
And then just going along with it because Midoriya and Bakugo and Gran Torino are all like, oh shit, yeah, no, we should help him. And Endeavor's like, why? Why would we? Okay,
Just also yelling Endeavor next page, glorious. Because it really just encapsulates probably how he's feeling.
yeah. Yelling it.
Oh my god.
That's great. I love screaming Endeavor. I just love Endeavor. I love Endeavor so much. I love him so much.
Yeah, the
No.
facial features this chapter very, very. There's something like Bakugo on page 6, like with the bottom
Oh,
right.
Oh yeah.
I love it when he draws him like that.
No,
or
not the one on the page 7. The one on page 6.
6
Oh.
bottom right.
Oh
With
yeah.
the actual like hair flowy. a
God,
bit.
hair is so difficult to draw.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I suck at drawing hair, and I'm so
I can't
jealous.
draw.
Horikoshi.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, Jolly.
Draw better than your Pat, so. No, but I love the expressions on page 7. I think they're just
Oh,
like
Page
hysterical.
7 is so
like
good.
like Deku just going, wait, why are you following me?
Now, this particular scene, I can't wait to get animated, because if you look from the bottom right panels to the top left, it's like, he's going like, Kancha, did you hear he's chasing me? He goes like, yeah, all right. Kancha, why are you following me? I love the comical overview. Like, why are you following me? Do you want me to kill you?
No.
No? All right, well, I'm coming along because I know what's going on. He goes, okay, thanks. just keeps on running.
What,
what a
you think
lad.
you're the main character or something?
Oh
Honestly,
yeah,
I love these meta jokes.
You call it.
I mean, fucking dude, I'm just telling you, My Hero, this entire show, this entire series could be great if, like, in the last arc, it turns out Bakugo actually was the protagonist the whole time. None of this was actually about Deku. It was always about Bakugo.
Yep. Also, speaking of expressions, Bakugo on the
it's
next page.
terrifying. Absolutely
Oh,
terrifying.
He's
His
getting
chin has
on, man.
completely changed shapes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
Also,
I mean,
he got teeth now. He actually has teeth.
man, you always focus on whether or not they have teeth.
It's important because it's half the time they don't.
Nah, dude, they have tusks. It's just
Yeah.
one
Tusks.
long
They
tusk.
have,
Long
they have the
tusk
typical
coming out of-
anime tusks.
This angle on his face though really throws me off because like there's something about the way the mouth is open that just does not click spatially to me.
The joke is that it's supposed to be overly demonic looking.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Bakugo is one of those heroes that, with just a slightly different outlook on life, could have totally been a villain.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, easily.
So this is interesting. This is the first time Bakugo's gotten close to Shigaraki since he got kidnapped.
Yep.
It's true.
Like, that's kind of crazy.
This is also the first time he admits to, like, worrying about trying to keep up with Deku.
Yeah, but funny enough, it's only to himself. He's not saying it out loud.
Yeah. Yes,
Well,
but he's
it's
admitting it
only
to
right.
himself.
You know, this whole exchange where he's talking about, you know, as Deku gets better, I'm getting better, I'm keeping up. He still sees Deku as, you know, not inferior. He sees him as maybe not an equal quite, but he does recognize that he is progressing at a faster pace than him, and he's keeping up, not leading, you know?
Yeah.
So it is interesting to see Bakugo, because this is the first time we've gotten Bakugo's inner monologue in a while. It's been a while.
Yes.
You know?
Very
Like,
long
last
while.
time I can remember him thinking out, like, in his head, it was like, perhaps the Endeavor Agency, but prior to that, it was like the fucking, like, let's kill him with our music. Nah. The fuck?
I was thinking maybe during the joint training with 1A and 1B where they had like
Oh,
the...
probably, but I think that was definitely an inner monologue, like, he's going left, I should go right. Not like, you
No,
know.
I was thinking like when he was going through his like, oh, we're gonna have like a flawless victory. I think there might have been something there, but that's really
Maybe.
not important.
Right.
It's just been a long time, and that
It
is
has
the
been a
emphasis here.
It's good. It's good to finally get some more inner characterization for Bakugo, because Bakugo's
true.
great. I
He is
love
cool.
Katsuki.
He's cool.
He's amazing.
Okay, so next page, it's pretty interesting how Shigaraki goes through this process here of figuring out what quirks he wants to use. Because it seems
Yeah.
like he's browsing a catalog, right?
It does.
He's like,
kinda
oh, here
seem
we are.
that way.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like he's flipping through one in his head. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
look, an air blast and radio waves. How interesting.
You gotta wonder if the interface for All for One is super outdated, you know? 'Cause
Like a
it's
freaking
been
like.
in use.
Yeah, One for All's is like an iPad in his head, but All for One is like a fucking 1970s computer with dial-up.
It's the original Macintosh.
Every
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Every time Shigaraki wants to get into a different quirk, you just hear the dial-up sounds like.
He's
You have
running.
You have to hear the Windows startup sound
Sorry,
before you
sorry,
can
I'm
use the quirk.
sorry. I'm still
once in a while
running
it
Windows
crashes.
XP.
Oh god. So
Oh,
this
and
is
that-
interesting. So he's got holes in his hands now.
Yeah, I think that's just like
The air
the
blast
physical
thing.
manifestation of whatever quirk he's trying to use.
I think so,
But
but,
it's
I
very
mean, I wouldn't be
reminiscent to
surprised.
any wind style from Naruto.
Yeah. A bit.
I mean, has there been any like Christ allegories so far regarding Shigaraki?
No, I think this
Not-
is just
no.
quirk based. I wouldn't really push that direction.
I don't think.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think-
because I mean, like, I was rereading I was rewatching an episode of like Death Note the other day, and so like my head's kind of in that space. So the moment I see holes in hands, I'm like, okay,
Okay, but that blom or whatever the actual sound effect that gives a lot of like depth. Like it feels like that's a
you are-
heavy movement.
You want to talk about depth? Next page.
Oh, well, hold on. Let's slow
page.
down just a little bit. Let's slow down just a little bit.
No,
We got to
no,
talk
but-
about this. Air
Yes,
blast and
yes.
radio waves.
Yes.
Is that
that's
actually
a-
going to blanket the. Is that actually going to turn off everyone's communicators?
Oh, for sure.
Is that the presumption?
I think that's the point.
I mean, I think it's gotta. It's interesting though because he was only pointing in one direction.
Right.
It's a very large direction, so I'm gonna assume that it's completely half of from wherever he's facing. Again, opposite of wherever he's facing, which is only Endeavor that we know of.
Yeah.
So,
Right, because he's heading in the direction of Bakugo and
Midoriya, yeah.
So in theory, you'd have to. I guess we're just assuming that it just shorts out everyone's earpiece.
Yeah.
Because it's like we see a burning next page is like, oh, my earpiece is going haywire, even though it seems like Endeavor's the only one actually getting hit by this attack.
Well, maybe I mean, I'm not entirely sure how their radio waves and communicators work. I wouldn't be surprised though if it's like like old shitty Christmas lights where if you knock out one, you knock out all of them.
Like,
Pro Heroes haven't updated their communication device.
Yeah, so maybe by shorting out exclusively Endeavors, you've shut down all of them on that server.
Yeah, it would be
everyone on that
to
frequency.
take a look like that. But
so this next page, the next few pages get fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because I'm like 90% sure that all these pages, the black background, are. I'm not sure what they are. If they're Shigaraki's imagination, if it's a premonition like Night Eye style, or what. I don't know what these are really.
I think it's more of just like I think the way you drew
it's
it
like
is
a
because
sort
of
of
dramatic emphasis on.
Effect.
If it's
I
a
would
dramatic
assume it's in
emphasis,
Shigaraki's like head that this is what he assumes is gonna happen, because he's so close to it now, or like maybe what its brain's telling him to do.
Oh
like,
yeah, with the whole
thing.
I mean, just in the last few chapters, he's had a couple of trippy dream sequences. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a part of that.
Also, the white outline for Midoriya and Bakugo looks really, really clean.
I like that.
It is. Really...
It makes you wonder if maybe he places the pictures over a background as opposed to the other way around.
He might.
I don't. It definitely. I don't know if I'd say that.
I still see the sketchy effect of it enough.
Yeah,
like,
and I think it's definitely was made to just not have them blend in, but it just looks really good.
I mean, something that I like about
Shigaraki doesn't have it, but he also has like slight whiteness around him.
Yeah, I think that
he's also not.
I think that's supposed to be like dust from the ground that pulled around him, and the white outline on our protagonists, as opposed to the black kind of bleeding effect into the background, because it looks like he's going at light speed, Star Wars style.
A little bit.
So I think it's just to keep him like, yes, I'm a part of the darkness, but I'm also my own thing,
Yeah. I also see why he needed a cape, so we could do the negative hair effect when there's no background.
It looks so good. I love the fact I love the negative hair. It was a very cool decision to go with that I hope looks good in anime, because I have a feeling that despite how well it may be animated, this volume of the war arc may be better manga read.
It's gonna be it's gonna be hard to animate this,
especially with all the dream sequences and stuff like the.
But it could totally be done.
Trippy. It
could absolutely be done.
I don't think the negative hair can be done very well in the anime. I think that's definitely going to be one part that's probably going to be changed.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they go the other way, because he's had that weird like cobalt blue hair in the anime, so
he's had some...
I don't know if they're going to go in the whole other direction and just make it straight up white or what.
They might go gray, because it's a bit easier to animate.
Yeah, maybe.
Or they might just go white to like create the parallel between All for One and him.
But it may be even interesting if they go in the whole other direction and do all these like sequences in a totally different animation style,
Yeah.
Kind of like how, in like JoJo openings when the villain appears, it's all sketchy and rough looking. I wouldn't be surprised if they go someone like that,
It'd be interesting. I'm just excited to see it.
Yeah. I mean, what I love about Horikoshi's art specifically is that he's one of the few mangaka currently who uses digital art in his panels. He's one of the few that has embraced this new like art form and integrates it into this old art form. And people like the Toei animation definitely wouldn't be able to do this, but Bones is innovative enough that they could probably pull it off.
They might be able to. We'll see.
Yeah, and with the interesting shit that Horikoshi does in this in this
arc,
series.
yeah.
Not only in this arc, in this series,
Yeah.
when it comes to different art forms and including all these crazy little like details, I think it could be done very well. And we're probably going to see even crazier stuff going forward when it comes to because this series has already been going since like what, 2015?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's already been running for like 5 years, and as digital art gets better, we're going to see better, crazier manga panels going forward. Can't wait till I'm 28 and the series still isn't over.
Yeah, just don't talk to Berserk fans of how they got there.
Chapter 276 is actually going to be on hiatus. See it in 2023.
Oh,
Hey,
it was released in 2017.
Really? Oh, I didn't think. Wow, I thought
That might be
over
the
there.
anime, though. That might just be the animation of it.
Oh, maybe. Because I know that the anime became popular sometime around
So,
2017,
next
2018.
panels, next page.
The whole
get-
next page is nutty.
They
It
get
is
dusted.
Horikoshi flexing on how well he can draw hands yet
The
again.
bastard! He's constantly flexing on how well he can draw hands, and every time... Here's the thing. Every time Shigaraki or Overhaul get a full splash page, every time the panels are broken up by their hand coming through the page, and it always looks incredible. And I always go, damn it, Horikoshi, you did it again. You son of a bitch. You just made me feel bad about my inability to draw hands, and yet I get goosebumps. Funny enough, though, I mean, I've been trying to look at it. His left hand, the one where he's missing fingers, I keep trying to look at it, and I can't get any clear shots of it in the last few chapters. And I saw someone mentioned in a, like, way back in, like, you know, back when the Raw scans came out, like many chapters, like a few chapters ago, they were like, yeah, he woke up and his regeneration is so powerful that he grew his missing fingers back. And I was like, oh, but then I never saw it, so I didn't know.
Well, the panel before they get dusted and decayed in them, you see his left hand.
Oh, crap, you're right. Yeah, and he doesn't have
So
the fingers.
my assumption is that actually back then when you were asking what was on his hand, I do still think that those were his missing fingers.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Also, I got it was 2014 when it first came out.
Yes,
Yeah, sounds right. What's up?
Yes.
But dude, I love this splash page with the hand because all I'm thinking is, my God, what if on the Thursday Raw scans this was the only page
Oh my god.
Oh my
that
God.
got leaked?
Oh my
People
god.
would have an aneurysm.
People would be so upset.
No,
No.
not my boys. Yeah, it turns
Well,
out
actually, no.
Shigaraki's actually the protagonist.
It would have been okay because the last panel on the page shows them not getting dusted.
Yeah,
These
I mean,
people would
again,
be very confused.
yeah.
We're gonna get half decayed Bakugo and Deku for the rest of the series.
So here's something I want to talk about real quick. What the hell does the phrase? What does Shigaraki mean when he says, "I just gotta have it"? That fear of death.
No, I think that fear of death is it's Deku.
Yeah, it's Deku saying we got a taste of it last summer in Kamino. That taste of death. That fear of
I'm
death.
90% sure that Shigaraki's saying it since the first bubble says the voice in my head is telling me.
No. Look at
No,
the
no,
panel,
no.
the page before. It's Deku's thought bubble. We got a taste of it last summer in Kamino.
But
And then the next page,
oh.
it's still in that
fear
block format
of
for that
death.
fear of death. And then the Shigaraki's is just those three bubbles.
Yeah. He's got to have.
Oh,
his-
okay.
their
So the
powers.
boxes are Midoriya and the circles
Yeah,
are...
yep.
Yes.
Okie dokie.
To prevent misconceptions like that one right there.
Also,
Because I am big stupid. Smooth
Shapes are hard.
brain.
side
Shapes
note.
are hard.
Side note. What is the? How do you pronounce that? That word in the bottom left.
Schwap.
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 Like, you know,
Going
Okay.
schwap.
All right.
Schwap.
Cool.
It's like,
It's like a snatch, but like with the sound effect with it.
snatch.
All right. Cool.
She got a snook in her snatch, dude.
Hey, that was the name of a quirk in the Bullets arc in Shisaki.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Tamaki got his face punched in because of it.
Little lad. So Gran Torino has arrived.
The
He
fast
has.
man is very fast.
The Flash.
Fast
Old
dude.
Flash.
Old fast man is still quite fast.
Yeah, so this is crazy. This is great because, Horikoshi needs to remind us, like, yeah, these are just kids. We can't have them
exactly
fighting the main bad guy right now. There's
hold your
right
horses.
there.
We have many chapters to go. Come on.
The final fight's not going to happen for at least another 200. Okay,
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I'm fighting against.
I can't wait for the beach episode when
I'm fighting
Deku and
against
Shigaraki play
Araki.
volleyball.
I'm trying to catch up to One Piece, guys. Come on.
No, but again,
Like, God damn it, I'm going to have
another-
950 chapters by the time I'm finished with this shit.
One Piece is
So we get
already
another
past
confirmation of how decay works. Yeah, One Piece is at like, what is it, 983?
Oh, is
that.
it?
No, they're
Fuck.
past that. They're like 989 now, I think.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
in the
God.
80s, I think.
You're going to break
80s.
1,000 real
Yeah.
soon.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
very
oh,
soon.
Yeah.
By the end of the Wano arc, it's definitely gonna be past 1,000.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dear.
But back to my hero.
Okay, so anyway, so the decay, we get another confirmation of how decay works, which is pretty interesting, because you'd assume that anything that is getting blown away by decay is decayed by the time it makes it anywhere. So
You'd
getting
think.
hit with a piece of rubble from decay, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that is interesting, because I thought that decay could only continue as long as it was touching something that was being decayed. If he decays a building and it decays at such a speed that there's rubble falling before it fully decays, and if that piece of rubble touches someone, they would begin to decay. That seems way more powerful than I initially thought that this quirk power-up was, because...
Yeah. And
My
it
God,
also
this means
leaves
that-
a lot of other possibilities. Like, if he picks up a rock,
Yeah, he
starts
could
decaying
fucking...
it, and just throws it like a baseball at someone.
He could
Yeah.
do that.
Dude, imagine getting a concussion and then falling apart from the head down.
Oh my god.
I don't even think you'd
someone-
have time to register that you have a concussion.
Probably not.
Because
I
it
mean,
would start... No,
Jesus.
first off, we have to consider that Shigaraki also has incredible strength now. So it would probably just go through your head. Like, forget about decay at this point. Like, you're just dead to a fastball to the head. Like,
Yeah, there's just a hole in your skull, and
you're
and
just
the
taking a
decay is his
100 mile per
body
hour
disposal.
fastball. And you're out.
I don't.
You're
Yeah.
dead.
I don't think it's.
You're
I don't think
gone.
it's the quirk killing you anymore. I think it's the.
It's the rock.
It's the rock. It is the rock.
Oh, jeez. I do want to point out, I love that Gran Torino is now referring to... I love how everyone's referring to Shigaraki as that thing now, because,
Yeah.
He's not a
now
person
the whole...
anymore.
Yeah, so I love
He's a
how
Nomu.
this means to me that the heroes are all like, yeah, villains get a right to life.
Well,
He's
I
not
mean,
a villain.
do
We're
we
gonna
have
kill
any
him.
confirmation of how All for One was like addressed? Because that could have also just be a continuation of like how unnatural the ability seems as well. Like it seems
Oh,
like it goes
true.
against the natural order.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I don't recall. I always remember him being referred to as a person.
Yeah, so interesting. I guess that's
I
more
think
of
they
a
always just
confirmation
refer
that
to
it's
him as
like,
All for One.
yeah. I don't remember like anything other than All for One.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess the biggest difference between All for One and Shigaraki is that Shigaraki got to be Nomu-fied, because All for One wasn't jumping at 1,000 miles an hour or taking punches from All Might that wouldn't have otherwise killed him without the extra quirks he picked up. Like,
Yeah, it's
he's just
interesting.
straight up powered up,
It's very weird because when you look at it, All for One should have had ridiculous regenerative capacity because of just grabbing a regenerative quirk, like especially since the doctor, had
Had a
regenerative quirks.
It's true.
So, I mean, it's definitely very strange to
Well,
see
actually,
this.
I think the doctor's... I mean, if you're talking about, the doctor in possession of a quirk, yeah. But, the doctor's quirk was...
No, I'm
was
saying
not-
in possession.
It was longevity,
I'm saying in possession of the
Right.
regenerative quirks since he made the Nomus. It's very
I
interesting
wonder
to
if those
see
are
how...
quirks or just a biological thing. Because, I wouldn't be surprised if that's, a breakthrough that he made and he was like, oh, instead of using this to, give people their limbs back, I'm just going to give this to someone and then pump them full of quirks so it doesn't kill them.
Yeah, but again, if it's biological, why couldn't All for One handle it?
Yeah, that's
either?
true.
So
True.
it's like, it's just
mean,
strange to see how ridiculously different the power is now in Shigaraki's hands. But
That's true.
anyway, let's continue.
It may be a different. I mean, yeah, sorry, but there's just one last thing. It may be a difference of fighting style too, because All For One was the kind of person who would take power in a place, stand there, and wait for All Might to show up.
Yeah, it was. It's also like.
Yeah,
All
well,
For One
Shigaraki is
completely
actively
prideful and
pursuing,
petty.
and fighting people.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, moving on. Rip Ryukyu.
Yeah.
It's not
Almost
confirmed,
Rip
but we
Ryukyu.
see all 5 fingers touch her, and
No,
then we smash
so-
cut to a different panel.
I'm
Like-
99.999% sure that that's Aizawa activating his quirk, preventing the decay. Because if you go on to the next page, you see a very clear image of Aizawa looking towards Shigaraki,
Oh, and his
looking
hair
towards
is up.
Ryukyu.
His hair
And-
is up.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Why are you
That's-
so much better at reading than I am?
It's not even reading. We're looking at pictures.
We're looking at pictures.
God, I
Rob.
feel dumb.
Why else would he cut to Aizawa?
No, I mean, I totally misinterpreted these panels, though, being on 2 separate pages, because this isn't him jumping immediately after killing Ryukyu. This is him being knocked out of the way by the claw Ryukyu just hit him with. God, I feel stupid.
That's- yeah.
I feel so dumb.
I honestly didn't even register that it was him getting knocked away. I was more saying he was fast enough to just move out of the way while registering that his quirk wasn't working.
That's
I
true.
wonder if Aizawa using Erase prevents him from using all of the quirks that he has, or if it's whatever quirk he was using at the time.
Well, if that's how it works, he's definitely losing his quirk by next chapter.
Yeah.
God, the flags on the flags
no.
on Razorhead are so high.
no.
I don't
No,
want
I
it.
don't. I don't
don't
consider.
want it.
I don't consider the death flags to be.
No,
higher
they're
than
definitely
half-mast.
not death flags.
The quirk
but
death flag is outrageously high because, as we see in the second to last panel,
So we get an
Shigaraki
answer.
is reaching into his pocket. So I was very much wrong about what I thought the quirk erasing bullets were gonna do next time.
Yeah.
They're gonna
I
show
did.
up
I mean,
very
here's the thing:
Well,
Eraserhead just kind of showed up. I had no
That's true.
clue
'cause
he
even
was,
nearby
Oh,
during
this
this.
is gonna be
I knew
so
he
Well,
was
it's
bad.
Ryukyu. So he was with Ryukyu. So whoever
He was
Ryukyu got
with
here.
Ryukyu.
right. So,
So
I mean,
that's
fuck.
however
You can't
Aizawa
end a
got
chapter with Aizawa going, "I'm sorry, Crust, Shirakumo. I need to fight this guy, and that's why I'm alive." And now all I'm thinking is just, "Oh no!"
Also,
Well, we could also.
You're not
take
allowed to
it
say
as-
that.
We could definitely take it as he won't die until the end of the series.
Yes.
Until
because-
Shigaraki's
Shigaraki
defeated.
loses.
Also,
Yeah.
If
But
we
I
want to
mean-
be optimistic about it.
can we,
Maybe. If Eraserhead loses his quirk, though, everything changes because Eri can no
There's
longer
no-
be
Exactly.
trained.
That was another thing I was thinking about. That was one of my first thoughts, actually.
And
like,
Eri's their only hope of getting quirks
any
back.
quirk back.
That's true. Also, can
I could
Can I po-
imagine. Oh, you go, Jolly.
I point something out?
Yeah.
The next chapter isn't until June 26th.
Yes, there's a
Yes.
break. It's awful. I don't know.
It's a
God, this
2-week break.
bastard.
2 weeks.
Oh,
I expect a sketch. That is my only
my
expectation
only
for
solace.
the next 2 weeks. I expect a sketch.
My only solace.
But it's we have to wait 2 weeks to figure out.
Yeah,
this
so
out.
I was completely wrong about this chapter. You guys were pretty right about at your first thoughts.
I mean,
how
a
he's
little
not going to
bit.
lose any. Well, he wasn't going to lose any momentum
No,
with
I
Shigaraki
don't
and go
think
back
he's
to the
going to lose.
hospital.
I do not think he's going to lose any momentum. I still don't think he's going to lose any
Oh no!
momentum.
Looking at it now, if he goes to the hospital at the beginning of next chapter, I think I might jump off a bridge.
Well, there's no hospital left. You mean the
There is the
guitar?
Oh,
hospital's
sorry,
gone.
sorry. The mansion.
The
mansion.
crater.
The mansion? Yes.
I meant
yeah.
I meant the mansion. Yeah.
He's gonna go to the crater and make it an even deeper crater. He's tunneling to the center of the earth.
I mean, I'm telling you, I think the way Gigantomachia appears in the quote unquote hospital is he's gonna burst in at the end of the chapter, and then on the next chapter it'll be
Yeah, it'll be
one
like,
or two chapters of us showing Gigantomachia going like, "Toga, we gotta go," and her going, "No, fuck you," and then grabbing her and running. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we
instead.
talked about that last time. I was like,
Yeah.
how Horikoshi does that sometimes, where he shows and then tells.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I love when things do that, when you get the two sides of the same story, like in Avatar, you had Appa's Lost Days,
Yeah.
shit like that. I love it when storytellers do it, when you tell a story and then the other side. I think it's
Yeah,
great.
well, you tell a story and then you tell how it got there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. So I hope that's what happens. Because I want at least a
cool.
few more chapters of Shigaraki duking it out with Endeavor, Eraserhead, maybe Deku and Bakugo, maybe Gran Torino, maybe Ryukyu, whoever's nearby. I want a few more chapters of that before we get, Master! I'm here!
I fully do not expect any fighting between Deku and Shigaraki.
I
You
don't
likely
think there'll
won't.
be any. I don't think there'll be any.
It's definitely going to be like one of those escape sequences in a video game where you're like, you can't handle somebody, so you're just supposed to run away.
Like the end of Jedi Fallen Order.
Haven't played it yet, but
Aw,
yes.
dude.
No, I know
yeah,
what
the
happens.
final
I know
mission,
what
he runs
happens.
away from Darth Vader.
Hey,
It's
whoa,
just-
spoiler alert.
The
The game hasn't been out for that long.
It's been out long enough. Besides, fucking anyone who knows the game exists knows that that's probably...
Yeah.
Anyone who knows the game exists knows that, Darth Vader's going to appear and you're not going to fight him because you'll lose.
Yeah, exactly, because plot armor. Also,
Exactly.
most powerful Jedi ever.
Also,
So,
anyone who knows that the game is out knows that it's probably not worth buying.
It's...
just get Dark Souls.
Hot take, y'all.
Just
yeah,
get
just get Dark Souls.
just
Speaking
get
of
Dark Souls.
Come on,
I have
let's get on
officially
topic.
beaten all 3 of them, but now we're
Congratulations. Back on topic. So, fellas, what are you thinking for next week? Short-term predictions. What do you got?
back to Nothing.
Yeah,
You got
nothing. Well,
Well,
there's no
because
chapter
you
next
said
week.
next week, you bastard.
Oh,
Next chapter.
shut up. I'm still trying to get over it.
2 weeks from now, I expect Eraserhead to lose his quirk.
Man. Do you think he's going to go down fighting, or do you think, the first panel of the next chapter is just going to be bang?
Well, okay, there still is a very long distance between Shigaraki and Eraserhead currently.
Which is funny, because now that begs the question, just how much range does Eraserhead have? Like, if he takes out a
eyesight.
telescope, if he has...
Yeah, I
Yeah,
fully
it's
expect
eyesight,
that to
so if
work.
he takes out a
he's-
pair of binoculars...
Yeah, maybe. I think he
I
needs to have
fully
both
expect
eyes.
that to work.
But I don't.
Binoculars
maybe it
use
does.
2 eyes.
Maybe glass affects it though. That's why he has the slotted glasses instead of
Well, the slot, there's no
Well, those weren't
panels
his, yeah.
on them.
I think the slots on his... I think his slotted
It's just a
goggles are just
misdirection.
yeah, I think it's also just to protect his eyes,
maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
Plus it's,
originally
plus
they
the
were
Shirakumo
just
thing.
goggles.
I know.
Because they were Shirakumos. And that was like their thing. And I'm pretty sure it's shown that he uses his quirk through the goggles, but also he always takes them off. Like,
No, he usually wears his goggles when he's doing, when he
But
goes
that's
into,
the slotted goggles.
do hero business.
yeah,
It's-
when he's in hero
whenever
business.
when he gets caught off guard or they're ripped off of his head, he's no longer wearing the goggles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
But he
very
always
awesome.
has he usually, because it's easier to see emotion through someone's actual eyes
Yeah.
as opposed to goggles,
Yeah.
And mouth and nose.
Yeah.
So never start your character off
And
with
hair.
a mask.
It's true.
I still love that that's something, it's just a quirk of, his quirk, that his hair just stands straight up
Yeah.
every time he uses it.
It's pretty funky.
It is
Do you
pretty
think he
funky.
ever looks in the mirror sometimes, erases his own quirk to hairstyle
I don't
while
think
it's
he
straight
can.
up, and then when it falls back down,
Can he
No,
take
didn't-
away his
wasn't
own
that
quirk?
shown once? No, wasn't
What's
it
that?
shown once that he activated his quirk in his mirror to fix his hair?
I don't recall. But if that's the
I don't
case, I need to
recall.
find out because that's great.
I just could imagine that happening.
Still, he's such a
can see
papa
that.
bear. Don't you dare lay a rotten finger on my students.
Well, he has. Based on
Best
what we talked
character.
about for his left hand, he does kind of have rotten fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit.
rotted
kinda.
away. Oh,
Because if those are like gloves keeping his fingers together, that's.
I don't think it's I don't think Shigaraki's gloves are keeping it together. I think it's
I
just
mean, he
to
only has a glove on his
cover
left
up
hand.
the. Yeah, I think it's literally just to cover up the stumps that used to be
Well,
his
no,
index and middle
because
finger.
remember that he had the finger covers on his left hand in a couple chapters ago, and I was like, what are those? Why does he have coverings on his fingers?
Yeah.
Maybe they may
And
just
Dolly
look
was just
really
like-
fucked up.
I think it's
Yeah,
just
they might
glove.
just be keeping him together.
May just be
But
an
it's not.
aesthetic
It
thing.
wasn't. No, it wasn't a glove though. It was like over the top of the finger.
Yeah, he's got a
The
glove
metal
that ends at
things?
his knuckles, and then
No,
finger
I swear to God,
things
that's what
that
it
go
looked like.
down. No, that's
don't
literally
know.
what it is. I'm looking at it right now. He's got little sleeves that end at his second knuckle, and a gloves that end at his at his
Yeah,
knuckles.
it makes no sense.
So it's like fucking
I don't
what? Why do you have one part of your fingers?
Yeah, and we still wonder. We haven't seen him activate decay with his left hand, right?
No, I think that's actually one of the limitations that remained is that he still needs all 5 fingers to activate it.
Which is pretty.
So that's the
interesting.
thing. He could, yeah. So Deku could theoretically totally cripple his decay ability by just breaking his pinky.
It's
Yeah,
true.
you said that last week. You're like,
Yeah.
the solution to beating Shigaraki is just break his arm.
Like, yeah. Well, I mean,
Break his hand.
what if that's what if that's great? Like Shigaraki actually has to take like 2 weeks off because Horikoshi wants to do a filler
Well,
arc.
I mean,
and the reason he has to do it is because he got out of the car and he accidentally broke his fingers by slamming the door too hard. So now he has to sit there with a splint like, fucking what?
Not to step all over your joke or anything, but we did mention his regenerative capacity recently.
Yes, I am aware, but what if it's a quirk door? Yeah, it's a quirk car.
A quirk
It makes
door.
It's a really... It just breaks his fingers really badly.
What is this? A boat stand?
Yes.
Boat stand, boat stand.
I call this one Highway to Hell. Breaks off. Highway to Hell is a stand in part 6.
Yes.
Anyway. Fucking... Is any other predictions outside of Eraserhead losing his quirk next chapter?
I don't think Eraserhead's going to lose his quirk next chapter. I think that'll be the chapter after, if it does happen.
Oh, you think we're gonna get a whole chapter of fighting, huh?
I think we're gonna go to Gigantomachia first. I think he's going
Really?
to. I think he's going to cut back to the mansion.
I think you're making the fatal
'Cause-
mistake I made last week. Thinking that he's going to do the same thing he had been doing, where he's going to tell it parallel. I think it's going to be like what Rob and I were saying, where it's going to show and then tell us. Because I don't think he wants to lose any momentum with this anymore.
Yeah, because I mean,
Maybe.
not only does he's taking a break next week.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because so to then the week after that take us away from the hospital, because currently all of the fans' favorite characters are here, like
This
Daddy
is true.
Aizawa, Shigaraki, Deku, Bakugo. They're all in this one
Shoto.
spot, and Endeavor is right behind them. To then
true.
go away to the mansion would piss people off, because that's 2 full weeks.
Yeah, that is.
Because
Yeah.
everything's already wrapped up at the mansion, kinda. It's like, okay, Togiyami's running away, Fat Gum is running away. None of the heroes that we know, that we love, besides possibly Gang Orca, are in danger anymore.
I mean,
guess that's true.
Mountain Lady.
Mount Lady, Tsunami Woods.
Yeah, but you know, like they're not
Yeah.
anything immediate, because it's not like the last panel we saw them on had a gun to their head. Like,
I
That's
mean, like
true.
Aizawa right now.
yeah, like Aizawa right now. Aizawa
Aizawa.
right now. Like,
I think
to
yeah.
to cut back to the mansion now would piss off a lot of people,
Yeah,
I'm aware.
me
Yes.
included.
including us.
I wouldn't be that upset.
I would lose my shit.
I would laugh.
I need to know
Because
if,
I know you would be losing your shit.
Jolly, if you're right, then our next chapter review will just me going like, yeah, this is great and all, but what the fuck is going on? Where's Aizawa?
Where is he?
Where is he?
Like,
Aizawa?
it's cool seeing Gigantomachia do this thing. Where's
Where
my
is
dad?
he?
Bring him to me. You know, fucking
And
just
I
sheer anger.
are we assuming that this is a strange one, but on the second panel of page 18, is Aizawa's leg broken?
I don't know what that is. I actually noticed that earlier. I think he's carrying someone, and I don't know who it is.
No,
So I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
I have to assume his leg is broken because the Nomu grabbed him by his leg.
That's true.
So
Yeah, but
but we know how
but he-
ridiculously strong those Nomu are. Like if the Nomu just grabbed him and was trying to pull him back, I have to assume that breaks his leg.
Maybe. I mean, I'm looking at it because it almost looks like it was
does
slightly
look like he's
decayed. But we
carrying
know
Yeah,
that can't be the
I was
case.
thinking at first decay, but then I was like, that also works. But again, it doesn't seem like he's comfortably standing at all.
Because
I mean,
this.
in the
panel next to Shirakumo, is that someone next to him? Like,
Yeah,
is
it
someone
looks like
holding him up?
someone's holding him
Absolutely.
up, or he's holding somebody up.
So,
So maybe
who
he
else
does
did
have a broken leg.
who
Holy
else
shit!
did Ryukyu take with her? Because it's probably just another person that Ryukyu had. Because my assumption is she dropped off them quickly and then went straight after Shigaraki after seeing him.
I think she was carrying one or two nameless heroes, so it might be one of those.
So it just might be one of those because I don't expect to see Present Mike anytime soon
No.
with the Doctor unless it's like quickly, or we see Present Mike when Aizawa loses his quirk and he steps in to try and save Aizawa from dying.
Yeah, that would be great.
That
Because
That would be
fucking
very great.
The whole Shirakumo, Aizawa, and the race and Present Mike, like friend group is
Yeah,
so good.
it's so good. And if you
I
want
need
more
more of it.
about it, anyone, go read Vigilantes. Because it explains it much better than what this manga has done so far. And it's on purpose, but there's a whole
absolutely.
arc dedicated to it. And Aizawa has a lot of nice little
If you are an
what's
Eraserhead
what's the
stan,
word for the when someone shows up? Cameo.
Cameos.
appearances,
Lots of
cameos,
cameos.
character development,
And it shows him going through the thought process of becoming a teacher at UA. So that's
I
how
love-
far back Vigilantes takes place.
Yeah.
It's before.
I
Aizawa
love
was
when
actually a teacher.
I love when the Shirakumo reveal with Kurogiri first came out, and people online were like, "Hey, what the fuck? I don't want to read another manga to make for this to make
It's
sense."
literally 70
Horikoshi
chapters.
was like, "Too bad."
It's not that much. It's
He's-
literally less than a fourth of My Hero right now, right?
Kind of like that, yeah. I suppose I don't do math quick, so
Yeah, and also the Aizawa stuff happens chapter 50, 60-ish. So it's like definitely a fourth.
a solid read.
Yes, very
I
good.
don't know,
Much recommend.
So guys, we're kind of at a spot where it's like we're supposed to talk about the future, but we've spoken about it on a weekly basis at this point, and I'm not so sure how much more we can talk about it. Besides the very obvious fact that this quirk-destroying bullet will be used relatively soon. Whether or not it's successful is yet to be seen, but Chekhov's gun says it must.
Yeah.
It must
I-
be fire.
It has to
Fully
work on
expect-
someone.
I honestly expect that he's not gonna have any left after this because I think after this point Horikoshi's gonna want to get rid of this Deus Ex Machina, and by taking
Yeah.
out
The quirk
one,
bullets?
he's gonna take out two of them in one.
Yeah.
By
Yeah, because I
Probably.
think he grabbed two.
exactly,
in the
I
last-
fully expect either there's two very specific people who are going to lose their quirks, or it's gonna take two shots to get Eraserhead.
Well, who do you think the second person is?
That's completely up to theory crafting.
Oh dear.
So I fully expect one of them has a nice ticket on it that says Aizawa, and then the other one is really blurry because we don't know yet, but it's written on it, or it's also got Aizawa written on it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this one is used on Aizawa, whether or not it works, if Shigaraki holds on to the second one, so that in the future we'll always have that, you know, nagging
Maybe.
idea in our head that, yeah, maybe they'll
You know,
lose
be-
their quirk.
You know, it'd be really
I just
funny.
feel like I'd rather it be through All for One than the quirk destroying bullets,
Yeah,
and I feel like
agree.
Horikoshi would want that too. And taking out, so if Aizawa's quirk works how we think it's working currently, and it completely cancels out All for One in its entirety. Oh, sorry. Yeah, All for One.
Even when you get it right, you think you're wrong.
How even is Shigaraki gonna fire this bullet before he gets like pounded by Rikyu?
That's fair. I mean, I don't know. Like we said, we're still trying to figure out how much of his quote-unquote regeneration is quirk-based,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
if it's just a biological consequence of
Well,
what
I
happened
mean,
to him.
don't the Nomus not regenerate recently in the hospital, didn't one of them like realize that they weren't regenerating / their quirk wasn't working when they saw Aizawa?
Yeah, the regeneration was not working when Aizawa.
So we have to assume it's quirk
deleted
based.
That's true.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So looking at it now, I don't.
He's like a couple 100 feet in the air.
Yeah.
He's gonna break his legs when he falls.
It's gonna be very interesting to see how Horikoshi deals with this, because we know that Shigaraki knows how Aizawa's quirk works. He knows its line of sight, and he's made efforts in the past to avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, hell, even the first time he encountered... I mean, it's actually funny that this interaction with Eraserhead is very similar to the time he interacted with him in USJ, because right before he was going to kill Froppy, Eraserhead deleted his quirk, and he turned around and said exactly the same thing. You really are pretty cool, Eraserhead.
Yeah.
Right before having the new Nomu smash his head into the ground.
That's
Give him
true.
that nice
So,
cool
you know,
scar under his right eye.
Yeah, it's a pretty rad scar, all things
It is,
considered.
honestly.
Story. Makes our
But
dad
yeah,
even
it's
cooler.
definitely gonna be interesting, because we have to assume that if Shigaraki did have a gun, it is melted at this point.
Oh, more than that. After being,
Probably.
blasted 8 times
Also,
by Endeavor.
the fact that the quirk bullets might even still be functional after literally being burned at a
Well, I mean, they're made of
ridiculous
metal.
temperature. I'd like to point out that half of Shigaraki's skin was completely gone,
That's true.
and he still has pants on.
He still has pants
They're
on.
fire
somehow.
retardant pants. He
Yes,
got them from
of
the same
course.
place the Hulk buys his,
Yeah.
So, but that's crazy, because this means, next chapter, he's going to definitely start it by fighting with Eraserhead, but we also must remember, Endeavor is not far behind.
That's true. And neither is Ryukyu.
I don't know how far back he was blown by that wind plus radio waves attack, but
I think it's
Endeavor
a
is
chapter's
nearby,
worth.
and Ryukyu is right there.
I think it's about a chapter's worth.
Yeah, about
I think
about
he's
a
got-
I don't
chapter.
think Endeavor's gonna show up until after Aizawa loses his quirk.
You don't think so?
Because I
kinda
think
agree
this
with
is,
that.
I think that would just make it too difficult for Shigaraki. Because I think having Riku, who's confirmed to be one of the strongest heroes, being in the top 10, and also the fact that she's a literal dragon, and also Endeavor, speaking to as well Ryukyu's flight being one of her strongest attributes,
That's
and how
true.
Yeah,
well
so even
that
if he
does
does-
against Shigaraki.
And his decay, yeah.
And also Endeavor and his not falling also being quite
His
good
lack
against
of falling.
Shigaraki.
Yeah.
I think he can't show up until after Aizawa loses his quirk, because he'd lose. Like, honestly, looking at it, even though we don't know his full abilities, we don't need to know his full abilities, because Aizawa just gets rid of it, and then Ryukyu and Endeavor beat the living pulp out of him.
That's
Which
true.
I hope happens.
I mean,
won't.
it
It
won't.
won't.
I hope it does.
It's not
But
going
it'd be
to.
nice if the manga ended in a couple chapters, you know?
Yeah, it just ends with Ryukyu and Endeavor beating the shit out of Shigaraki as Eraser just stares at him like, nee, 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 nee.
You can
Deku
get
and
your
Bakugo
quirk.
are like, well, I guess there was no danger
There's
at
no
all.
use
All for one, more
nothing.
like none for y'all.
From a storytelling perspective, as much as I want, Endeavor Ex Machina to save Aizawa from losing his
Endeavor
quirk.
Ex Machina.
We are,
The amount of storytelling that can be done with Eraserhead losing his quirk could be, very high, because between, he will no longer be able to safely train Eri. And, right before the war arc began, that was what we ended on. We ended with All Might and Aizawa going, let's train Eri together.
it was actually more like Aizawa says, I'm going to train Eri. Haha, you think you can help?
Oh, okay, fair enough. Point is, that was something that they said we are going to do
Yes,
this. And
exactly.
if he loses his quirk now, then this means that, because he's going to survive. Like, I'm 90% sure he's going to survive
Yeah.
all of
No,
this.
I don't think he would kill off
Yeah.
Aizawa of all people
Especially
right now.
with
Right.
how much
So if
story
he-
has left to be told about Shirakumo and
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if Present Mike has the presence as a character to carry that
No.
emotional weight.
especially without Aizawa there. They are very much
Yeah.
two sides of the same coin.
They pair very well together, those two.
Yes.
I think it's great.
It's fantastic. Very well
But-
written.
From a storytelling perspective, Eraserhead losing his quirk is huge, because this means to continue to train Eri, would not only be great motivation for Eraserhead because he needs to get his quirk back to continue on as a teacher and as a pro hero, but it's also a huge leap of faith because now he's going to have to come up with alternative ways to quote-unquote shut down Eri to make these things if should go haywire but not be an issue.
Yeah.
I fully expect it to work like a placebo effect if they do go into it with Eri. I don't think he'd tell her that he ever lost his quirk if they start training.
Oh, probably.
Her.
Probably.
And it would
great.
just be like all these times that she thinks he's turning it off, it's actually her. And that would be pretty interesting.
Oh, that's really cool.
That'd be
That's a great
cool.
idea, Pat. That's amazing. As a storytelling thing, that'd be a great way to teach her how to turn off her own quirk as long as she thinks someone else is doing it for her.
Yeah, it's like one of those, when you train like a cat or like a dog when they see something to do a trick or whatever.
Right.
Like if
Maybe.
if Eraserhead just spikes up
He
his
just
hair.
spikes his hair up.
He just turns around really quickly with hair gel. Just
Imagine we find out that's not actually part of his quirk and it just happens naturally when he gets angry.
That'd be pretty funny.
God, that'd be very strange. Like, do you have like a scalp condition? I knew that hairs stand on end.
He has
but
two
this is
quirks.
ridiculous.
He has
He has two-
No, there's actually a rat in his hair that just holds his hair up.
Yeah. Remy from Ratatouille. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually,
Turns out Eraserhead has nothing to do with any of this. Remy's the real hero.
it's actually Principal Nezu the entire time.
Him and his big dumb sneakers are sticking out from behind his head.
He's been in the sash this entire time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is stupid. This is going beyond stupid.
Go beyond.
Plus Ultra.
Yeah, so we also the negative hair really looks really funny on the second to last panel.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
because just like half of his head is gone.
His entire head is gone on the second to last panel.
It's just like,
Yeah.
Ryuku just killed him.
He's dead.
Yeah.
His head is 50 yards away
It's
from
gone.
his body.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't
He
think
has been
regeneration's
beheaded.
gonna help this.
So also,
I mean, they say that's...
it's interesting. When does Endeavor say he's heading southwest? Does he say that?
Yeah, he says it right, and he pivots. So page 4. Or 5, excuse me.
So, are we assuming? Okay.
Oh, wait, yeah, someone... Pat, go into the earlier chapter. They said which direction the mansion was from...
Oh, I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about the panel on page 18 with like the one after we were guessing if he had a broken leg. Those two thought bubbles.
Yeah.
Whose are we assuming they are? Like, is that just Aizawa twice? But they're two different
Oh, okay.
styles.
No. So the black one is Endeavor out loud.
But
And-
how? If his communicator's broken.
And I think... No, he said that before the
But he
communicator
said
was broken.
he said it differently. It's different wording. He's heading southwest now. There's no now.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a translation thing.
Okay, maybe I'm going. It's right. It's not originally in English, but if we're looking at it from
Yeah.
that perspective, I guess it's just probably. It just doesn't make as much sense. Like when I'm reading it, I'm just like, oh, it's just Endeavor thinking, and then it's just Aizawa thinking, and then I'm thinking about it, and it's why are
I mean,
they
in my
two
head,
different
as far as-
colors?
No, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and Eraserhead's going, Midoriya and Bakugo, why are they here? And then he remembers.
Yeah,
Endeavor going,
that's what
he's
I-
heading southwest, and then he continues on going, is he targeting them?
I think that's where I was headed to. I just wanted to make sure that was other people's
Yeah,
thought
that
process.
sounds right. That does sound right to me too.
Yeah, so again, thinking of whatever fight is going to happen, right, between Aizawa and Ryukyu and Shigaraki, we know that there is a lot of distance between Aizawa and Shigaraki and Ryukyu. So, do we expect it to be a 2-tiered fight or a 1-tier fight, where it's 2v1 or is it 1v1v1? So like it's Shigaraki versus Ryukyu, then he beats Ryukyu, and then he goes to Aizawa.
Well, we've already established that Aizawa's leg is broken. So as far as I'm concerned, it'll be Ryukyu versus depowered Shigaraki, where Eraserhead has to constantly blink and keep looking at him to keep her from getting killed. And then at some point he may get involved, because like we said, that there's a different hero holding him up. So if it gets to the point where that hero has to go and help, or Eraserhead goes like, I need to go and deal with this because I can't keep standing on the sideline staring. Because, because maybe Ryukyu doesn't have the speed or something,
I mean, looking at it, she kind of commits suicide.
No, she absolutely does. I would not, yeah.
From really looking at it, she basically gets herself killed immediately.
Yeah,
I
she must
guess,
not understand how it works.
Or
she had so much faith in Eraserhead.
Yeah, it could have been that, like, since she had Eraserhead, there was like, here's our game plan. I'm gonna drop you off here. Do you have a vantage point? Cool. I'm going in.
Right.
Because, like, it's a very small amount of time while this is happening. So we have to assume that Ryukyu does have that kind of speed. If she does end up... Because my guess right now is that they were flying in. She spots what's happening with Shigaraki and the kids. Gran Torino takes them while they're flying at him. Ryukyu drops off whoever she's carrying and instantly goes... Like, in this time period, Aizawa was like, I'm going to cancel this quirk. Go. Drops him off, drops the other people off, and just instantly sprints, or flies really fast, whichever way you want to say it, at Shigaraki, and just trusts the other pro hero, Eraserhead in this case.
That makes sense.
Also,
to me. I think...
a lot of anger in the face, or the eyes, for...
Oh, yeah. She's pissed
I'm assuming
off.
a lot of her friends / people just died. Didn't?
I mean,
isn't it
yeah,
confirmed that, like,
they're
one
all
of her
coworkers,
sidekicks
right?
died?
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to say yes.
So, anger.
I mean, they're all coworkers,
Yeah, exactly. They're all part of the same union.
They're all part of the same union. Heroes' rights. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so I don't think we're...
Oh, dude, I mean, sorry.
Go for it.
The moment that you said that, now all I'm thinking is just like, what if Heroes just went outside and started protesting? Like, yeah, fuck you. You could go leave your cat in that tree. Go hang off that bridge. I don't give a shit. I'm not getting paid enough.
Well, this isn't America, so it wouldn't really end up happening like that.
Maybe. I'm not quite sure how Japanese workers' rights work. Or if they have them at all.
Well, it's a manga.
As far as I'm concerned.
So we're going
no
with heroes get fair pay, because Araka wanted to be a hero for the money at the moment, at the beginning.
It must get pretty good pay, actually, if that's the case. Huh. Cool.
Money.
Money.
So yeah, I mean, looking at the next chapters, I'm assuming what Rob and I talked about, where it's going to be Gigantomachia arriving, and then just, tell us.
I can see that.
So I think the
too.
next two chapters are going to be fully focused on how Shigaraki is going to take Eraserhead's quirk or get rid of it. I think it very specifically has to be the quirk erasing bullets, because if Shigaraki got his hands on Erasure, this whole series would be over tomorrow.
Oh, it would be
no,
done.
this would be awful.
It would be done.
The ability to erase quirks on top of all that bullshit, it would be too much.
Yeah,
Would he be
there's a very distinct reason why Erasure is getting taken out of the story at this point. It has served its purpose to a degree. It has not fully fulfilled its purpose in training Eri, but I still think that Aizawa himself...
It served its narrative purpose.
Yes, but I think Aizawa himself... I don't consider it to have served its narrative purpose because of how important Eri is to the prospect of these stories, especially in Mirio's case. But I do think that it'll transfer to more just as Aizawa's narrative purpose without the quirk. So it's too much of a I win card, which I know has been handled very well. Like, the entire concept of Chrono had to have been made to counter Aizawa.
Right.
In the Chisaki arc, because otherwise this really overpowered villain would never have fought Deku. because Aizawa would have just been like, sorry about that.
Sorry for the trouble, Dick.
So it's like, it's gotta go. And it's unfortunate that it's connected to such a great character, and that's exactly why it has to be a bullet and not...
That's why,
Death.
taken away by All for One.
Yeah.
Man, I am not looking forward to the... I mean, I am, but I'm not
Yeah,
looking forward
exactly.
to the
Like,
next
emotionally, I'm not.
chapter. Yeah, I'm not so sure I'm prepared for it. Like, when I saw, like, the chapter before Twice died, I was like,
Okay.
Deep breaths.
all right.
Deep breaths.
Here we go.
I was like, okay.
I'm gonna do some yoga before the next one.
Yeah, and I read the Thursday Raw scans, and I was like, maybe these
Maybe someone is a really good imitation artist.
yeah. Hey, I'm just like, okay, all right. Because I mean, this it's a shonen. It's predictable enough, but it's also unpredictable enough that I'm still coming back for more.
Oh, very much.
So
In this case, we have gotten a lot of things wrong, but we've also gotten a decent amount right.
yeah, I want to say like 60-40 on the side of getting things right, and I think that's a good level for a shonen because
You still
shonen
need to
for a
keep
lot of
guessing
people
at a
is
certain
like,
point.
yeah,
Like, there's parts where you shouldn't have to guess, like
Yes.
the main character being alive.
right.
And then there's parts where it'd be pretty interesting to not know what's going to happen with this character, like Endeavor for the past 8 chapters.
Yeah, we've been fucking. I
true.
have been confused with what's happening with him. So, like, we initially thought, like, oh, Quark Racing Bullet, next chapter, definitely. And it's been, like, 4 since then, and I
No,
still
I
don't know what's going on.
I fully thought that it wasn't going to show up again for a while, but now here I was completely proven wrong. Because Shigaraki's just going to pull it out of his back pocket and just be like, hey there, forgot about this? You better not have. It was here last chapter.
Yeah, like, oh, hey, Razorhead, the one guy who can stop me. Goodbye.
Sayonara.
Enjoy sitting at home, idiot. What's great about Eraserhead, though, is that him as a hero theoretically could continue on as a hero without his without
true.
erasure.
It'd just be
He'd be like
harder.
Batman, because he's such a good fighter and he already knows how to use the his binding scarf thing.
Yeah,
Besides,
but
he's got
it's just how incredibly powerful those things were in conjunction with his quirk.
right.
So
maybe
without the
he'll-
quirk, his fighting style has to completely change because he can't just take people by. So he can take them by surprise, but then they can still react with their quirk, and then
Yeah.
he
I mean, I
loses
doubt
them.
he's going to continue on as a hero until he gets it back.
Yeah.
Which I hope happens.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't die before he gets it back. Because I'm like 90% sure he's going to die by the end of the series. Like 90%
All
sure.
senseis
Wow.
must die.
Pretty much. If you are a father figure in a shonen, you will die. All Might and Eraserhead. They're dead. Just
I
not
mean,
yet.
they're currently gonna share the same fate of being quirkless.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. So Eraserhead specifically I think is great because should he lose his quirk, he won't be able to he'll still be a good enough quote unquote hero, but he will probably stop with hero work because now he can shift all of his focus onto training Eri and Shinzo.
Yeah.
It's true.
Shinzo is very similar to him and in his fighting style, and his quirk is quite similar as well as far as, mind control goes.
I was
So it's
thinking more like it's in the sense of the quirk is very similar, not even in the mind control sense. Just it's a very low key.
Low key and super powerful.
Yeah, exactly. And he can't do anything on his. Well, not. Aizawa can do things on his own, but his quirk doesn't work without someone else.
Yeah.
Neither does Shinzo's.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's like, I don't know. I mean, regardless of how this ends, I really don't want Eraserhead to lose his quirk, but I feel like narratively it's necessary.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to. I really want to find out how Hori makes his work, and like where we could go into a light-hearted training arc after this.
yeah,
But-
how would you do that?
Yeah, right? Like, this is so heavy. I have no idea how you could switch back to just like, all right, business as usual. But
I don't think you do.
yeah, unless this ends with like all the heroes maybe not winning, but Shigaraki going like, I've had my fun and fucking off to the mountains for a while. Like maybe Tartarus doesn't happen for a couple of arcs. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be interesting if Shigaraki has to go on his own training arc again, but I feel like it would be a bit odd in the sense that he kind of just went on a 6-month hyperbolic time chamber type beat.
True. I mean, it would be kind of interesting that if he takes takes a little break so he could learn all of his new quirks, similar to how I assume we're gonna watch Deku do.
Maybe.
Because the thing is that like he's already figured out 2 new ones or 3 new ones while on the battlefield just now, but he's got such a big catalog. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, okay, I have to go, be the Avatar. I have to go train for a while to master all fucking 180 quirks and then come back to hostile take over the country.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd also be like mildly disappointed because he's got such great momentum. But perhaps it's for Shigaraki, it's getting the support of other villains as well as what's the word? As reconvening with the original League of Villains to like figure out like, okay, where are we actually gonna go from here? Because I know what I want to do, but I want to know what you guys want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, because again, like I keep saying, like we already know that by the end of this arc, the heroes will have disappeared. Like by the end of the day that this arc happens, the heroes disappear, and we still, in my head, I know that this ends with them like dead, gone, or hiding. But as far as like you mentioned this when the whole arc started, that perhaps that meant just for the day.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have yet to see in reality, and I'm looking forward to, because like a chapter ago I wouldn't have been thinking this way, but now that I know that Eraserhead is probably going to lose his quirk by the end of this, I want the next arc to be an Eri training arc. I want training arcs now to be the focus after this.
Yeah,
because
I
so many people are going to be like, holy fuck,
I want me.
Shigaraki is so goddamn powerful. We need to get better now.
I want the Phantom Menace back.
Yes, please.
Please give me the big 3 of Class 3A actually doing something again.
I think they graduated now.
Yeah, so now they're pro heroes. So give me the pro heroes recently graduated from 3A being the absolute powerhouses that they are, because
we've been referring to Class 1A as such.
Well, because technically
2A now.
They have not been referenced as 2A yet. I don't think so. I don't think
No,
even
they
in that
have
Christmas
not.
thing they were referenced as 2A.
No, they were not.
Yeah. So again, I really want to see Nejire like be the pro hero that she's supposed to be.
I want her to get a goddamn arc.
Not even just a fight scene.
Character
even
development.
in the fight she's involved in, she does fuck all.
And I just want to see Tamaki again, like, not just like, hey, he's a centaur. Like, no, I want to see him beat the crap out of people as an octopus. Like, come on.
Agreed. My God, I want hentai Tamaki.
No,
Stop.
no,
Stop.
no.
I joke.
But I really want to see Mirio's like fighting style in a not a square hallway. Cause like
I want him to do something.
well, no, cause like again, looking at his fighting style, being in an enclosed space is literally the ideal spot for him.
Yeah.
So I just want to see how he adapts to different environments using his quirk, because again, he's, as referenced, the closest to number 1 outside of the pro heroes, or like including the pro heroes. So at that level, that's basically saying that he's near the level of Endeavor.
Well, I mean, I think at the time they were saying that he was most similar to All Might as far as personality goes, and they said that he was a really good hero. I don't think they said anything about him being, once he graduates, being like top 10. I think they were saying like this guy was more worthy to be One for All's new user, or the new symbol of peace.
Yeah, but I that could be it. But I was taking it as very literally like this guy is incredibly strong, and he is closest to being one of the best heroes once he graduates. Because again, looking at it, he almost completely beat Chisaki. He was beating him. He literally
until he fucking did a cheap shot and decided to shoot his daughter,
which
or his grand. I
everywhere.
don't know how that relates.
Not daughter.
Nah, Eri's father was the son of the Chi Hasaikai's boss, and he was...
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little complicated.
Okay.
But, yeah, so, I mean, looking at it, Overhaul was an incredibly strong villain, and it took Deku at 100% to beat him. If Mirio almost beat him, I would definitely put that near, like, the Endeavor levels.
True.
Because if it took Deku at 100%, that's pretty ridiculous.
Granted, he did just power himself up in between that and by merging with that other dude.
That's true.
I don't know. I feel like we're talking too much.
Yeah,
in the past.
I think.
I mean, that's something I didn't anticipate with this chapter, was to be talking about fucking Eri of all people for like 15 minutes.
It's true.
You know. So I don't know. I feel. This has been a chapter that ended up being deeper than I had initially thought when I first read it.
Same.
Well, there's a lot of
more
stuff
going on
that revolves around Aizawa.
Yeah, like, despite only showing up for the last 2 pages. Like, that was all I could think about. Because, you know, fucking, as a quick recap, like, I loved seeing the respect between Deku and Bakugo, the actual friendship that may actually be coming out of that, as well as Gran Torino coming back, and Endeavor doing whatever the fuck he does, and Shigaraki being his old self. But all I can think about right now is Eraserhead and what's going to happen in the next chapter. Any final thoughts from you guys?
Why is it 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think that's all of our just final thoughts. Why?
Why 2 weeks?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
This is definitely on purpose.
Yeah,
this is
for sure.
Horikoshi
This
drum
is
up hype like, oh yeah.
This
fucking...
is cliffhanger galore central. Big man Cliff here.
Big man Cliff here.
That's all I got.
Ah, jeez. All right. This has been chapter 275, fellas.
Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra. Thanks for listening.